Now, if you've ever driven from the southeast of England, or even the east of England, to the northwest of England, or indeed the north of England, you may have encountered the M6 and Spaghetti Junction and all that bit of road around it, which is an absolute nightmare. For me, coming up from Cornwall on the M5 to get on the M6, it's going to take half hour most days. If you're during the day, at night you might do it slightly quicker, but there's normally a traffic jam. And then you crawl along the M6 until you get past IKEA, and then you're all right and on you go. And coming the other way, you're going to get held up at Cannock and all the way in until you get released somewhere near Rugby. It's an absolute nightmare. Now, for once, the powers that be had a good idea, and they built the M6 toll road. And praise Jeebus, Vishnu, and whatever personal god you are, what a genius idea it was. Because what you ended up with was however many miles of empty road, because most people wouldn't pay for it. And if you were feeling flash, and back then when it opened, I think it was a £5 when it first opened. I think it's about £7 now. I don't know, because I think you just go boop. So I don't know. Put it in the comments how much it is so people know. Because I can't look it up now. I suppose I could, but I ain't going to. And then off you went. It shaved hours off your journey time, so it was worth the £5. And not only that, when it first opened, it was largely used by, let's call them professional people, sales reps, that type of person. So we're going back early 2000s now. I was living in Stafford. I used to go down to Kettering quite a lot because the ex-wife's best mate lived in Kettering. So we used to go down there and back, and very often use the M6 toll road. And I always remarked that I was in a Vauxhall Vectra SRI saloon with the body skirts on it. I'd love to have another one of them. I know Jeff has just bought a Vectra, but it was a new model. I need the old model, the original model Vectra. I know they weren't very good cars, but I loved it. It was the first car I bought that was, it wasn't brand new, it was 6 months old. From that motor warehouse on the A5 near Cannock. Anyway, that's a story for another day, because I used to blast down this motorway, and the only thing you've seen surrounding you were Renault Lagunas, Ford Mondeos, 3 Series BMWs, basically, and they all had shirts hanging up behind the driver's seat on the hook, because they were all sales reps just travelling, blasting up and down the country, trying to sell, I don't know, computers, deodorants, double glazing, whatever it was. And you very rarely seen a policeman, which was the great thing about it, because you could go a little bit quicker, allegedly. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no way of proving that I did it now, is there? So it's not allegedly. Everybody did it, and it was ace. And not only that, they haven't got them anymore. It's all done digitally. Another reason to hate digital stuff, when they had the toll booths, it was like motocross, and you'd have 14 cars all lined up, desperate to put their money in at the same time, so we could all leave and then all go for the whole shot, where it went from 14 lanes down into 3. Same as the old Severn Bridge. I used to love that. It was brilliant, because you could literally boot it, and it would just be a case, it was like a giant game of chicken. It was who was going to bottle it first. And you'd be going, no, I'm not going to look, I'm not going to look, I'm not going to look. He's not backing off, he's not backing. And you just try and get in the fast lane. And it was tremendous fun. And it put fun back into driving. As far as I'm aware, there was never a single accident that occurred while this behaviour was carrying on. And the M6 motorway, toll, is one of the safest motorways in Britain. Because, A, it's quiet. And B, if you got to pay to use it, you're paying attention. Though weirdly, and I always find this weird, you drive down the M6 toll. Back me up on this in the comments, please. Every time you drive down the M6 toll, there's like 10 cars on the road. And you think, oh, this is brilliant. And I'm blasting along here at 70 miles an hour. And I'm having a lovely time, and it's lovely, peace and quiet. And, brilliant. I'll just whip in the services. I very rarely use the M6 toll services, because it's not one of my favourite ones, especially if I'm going down the M1 and you're going to the new one at Rugby. Quality. But if you stop at the M6 toll services, back me up on this, Why is it always so busy? There's nobody on the roads. So where do they all come from? Last time I was in there, you couldn't even park your car. I had to go in the overflow spaces, went in there, it's full of French kids on some sort of French exchange, taking up loads of room, all wearing red shoes. Never understood that either. And just bizarre. Where do they come from? I reckon there's a back entrance. And people just go there for the day out. And it's quite safe because you've got cameras all around you. You're being tracked everywhere you go on the M6 toll. There's no escape. So, it's like boop, boop, in and out. Weird. Anyway, that's not we're 6 minutes in and I haven't got to the subject yet. I've turned into Mac Master. Yesterday, a lovely man, one of my researchers, Mr. Martin Patience, I salute you, sir, for your good work, sent me a photo because the bastards. I thought that road was sacred. But no, they've put speed cameras on it. The dirty bastards. The dirty Midlands dwelling Brummy bastards. All right, yam yam. So what they've done is even worse because it's not a van. It's on a bridge, but it's not a van. It's a tiny little camera on a tripod which just pokes its head up over the railing of the bridge, just enough. It upset me. Look, here's a photo of it. Have a look. Now, I know. Well, if you didn't speed, it wouldn't happen, right? I want to talk to people in the real world, not people who go, I've driven for 45 years and I drive defensively and I have never ever had a speeding ticket in my life. People in the real world, like my mate Mo, I know you watch my videos, so yeah, I'm going to talk about you now. Came in yesterday for a cup of coffee. He's absolutely distraught because he's taking mother dentists. He's doing his bit for the community. He's driving from Bugle down to St Austell, down the back road through Corludden. And there's Mary on the side of the road with his camera. He was doing a massive... And now, bear in mind, this is a single carriageway A road with traffic calming in between it. In between the bits. But used to be 60 mile an hour all the way down through there. Now they made it 30 all the way. He was doing a monstrous 36. And he said, I wasn't speeding. I was just driving. And he said, I'm not constantly looking at me clocks. And I've had loads of people say that to me. They spend all the time now doing that. And they're not actually looking at the road, they're doing that. And in between that and the new cars with the big tellies, how can you actually see where you're going? No wonder they need to be self-driving. You're too busy shitting yourself about getting a speeding ticket. Anyway, he got one. 36 and a 30. Doom. Not good. But these cameras are sneaky bastards. Because they're just poking. You can't see the van. Now, I thought the idea of the safety partnerships that run these things was that the van was visible so that it would instantly be a deterrent and people would slow down. And therefore, by the van being visible, it had to be, and speed cameras had to be luminous yellow IVs and all this stuff. And you had to know that the camera was there. Well, you can't with this one. Nobody knows it's there because it's stuck up on a bridge, hidden away, like a hidden camera. Honestly, it's like Jeffrey Epstein's in charge of fucking speeding tickets now. Anyway, they had a lovely time, you'll be surprised. 50 speeding tickets in the first half an hour. That's 100 an hour. And now the speeding fine is 100 quid. That's 10 grand an hour they're making. And they said in their report, we'll be back. I bet you fucking will. You'll be there for 8 hours next time. That's 80 grand a day. You're only getting minimum wage. You're all bloody ex-coppers anyway on pensions. And you're just getting it topped up and still getting your little power trip by sitting in a van. Or not even, well, you don't even need to do that anymore. You put the camera on the tripod and go sit in your car. Probably playing Farmville or something. Well, innocent, well, they're not innocent, they're guilty, aren't they? But while the driver who's just trying to get from A to B as quickly as possible in his car that is still subject to the same speed limit as the day motorways were invented 50 odd years ago, 60 odd years ago. Technology may have moved on, but speed limits haven't. In fact, they've gone backwards. And now it's bad enough on every other motorway, but not the M6 toll. That was sacred. It was the last bastion of freedom. And now it's gone forever, because now they know how much money they can make there. You can bet your right asshole that they will be back there every day, and they'll just choose a different bridge, and they won't tell anyone they're there, because it's not about road safety. It's never about road safety. Though, another thing that people have been telling me is when they see a speed camera, they automatically hit the brakes. Whether they're speeding or not, they automatically hit the brakes and brake hard. So how's that improving road safety then? By making people brake hard whilst driving along a carriageway. How's that improve road safety? And trust me, I'm a veteran. I've lost count, to be honest, but it's at least 5 speed awareness courses. And yeah, I am proud of it. Oh, I think you'll find that you're irresponsible and you should never be on the road and you should not be allowed to drive because you were banned and you're a criminal and oh, fuck off. I don't care. I really don't care. If you think that doing 33 mile an hour in a 30 means I should never drive a car again, fuck off. I just don't care. Oh, I'm having a right good rant today. And I'd like to point out my licence is still clean. Touch wood, touch wood, touch. 6 months now, nothing. Actually, that's not true. I've done a speed awareness course. So now I really am. I can't afford to do anything. I can't afford to get caught again. I've got to drive to Cheltenham on Friday. Cruise control will be on. But then again, that's the problem, right? Where I haven't got active cruise control. This is a 12-year-old car. So it hasn't got active... Oh, actually, this one, it's not this car. Has this got cruise control? No, this is the old 147 I'm sat in now. That ain't even got cruise control. This is one I got done in for the speed awareness course. But the point being that I haven't got active cruise control. Oh, God, it's a nightmare these days because you can't just sit in the middle lane anymore at 70 mile an hour and just plod on. You got to keep swerving in and out all the time. And then you're doing this and then you're doing that. And then you got all the milk floats in the slow lane because they're all doing a steady 55 because they got to watch their range. Yes, I know you do it. Even the truck drivers are moaning about you now, you floaty bastards. Anyway, that's enough for now, because I just need to go and take my blood pressure tablets, calm down a bit, and everything will be fine again. The M6 toll, you dirty Midlands bastards. Future my arse.